Last 6 months was becoming authentic, becoming real. You know, I stopped hiding, firstly from myself. Because if we hide from ourselves, then we're not living our truth. So no matter how much sharing we do, it's not going to be the real deal. So I started with self-love. Now, self-love and self-awareness, as far as I'm concerned, are the same thing. We've got to be aware of ourselves. We've got to know what we like and don't like. We've got to listen to our own thoughts, know what's going on in our head, know what's going on in our heart. We've also got to know what's going on in our gut. We've got to learn to feel. You know, sometimes we might not be thinking anything too much. We might be standing in line at the checkout at the supermarket and we'll have a tension in our gut. Most of us would overlook that. But when you're tuned into your own feelings, then you're really able to understand yourself and question it. You know, when you've got self-awareness to that degree that you're aware of everything that's going on in and around you, then you can be deliberate and you can do something about it. So self-love is, you know, firstly becoming aware, understanding what your feelings are, understanding your thoughts, and then it's about being deliberate. It's about loving yourself so much that you don't entertain thoughts that aren't serving you. You know, thoughts that are going on in your head that says, oh no, you can't do that, or that's stupid, or you'll make a fool of yourself. Crap. You know, that's not a friend. So you've really got to make friends with your mind. You've got to take it on board, talk to it, give it a personality, give it another identity if you need to, but make friends with your mind and tell it what you want, because it wants to help you. It wants to lead you into safety and security and to joy and to happiness, but it only knows what it knows. And what it knows is programming from our past, often skewed, because as kids we pick up all this programming, but we only get part of the story. So it's really important to direct your mind, make friends with it, and then tell it where you want to go, what you want to do, and ask it to support you. Select and be deliberate with your own thinking. Empower yourself, support yourself, tell yourself how well you're doing. Lift yourself up instead of pulling yourself down. Become your own best friend. Because when you become so aware and so deliberate in how you feel and how you think, life changes radically and it changes quickly. So my biggest tip for anybody that's in this business is to really get to know yourself. You know, ask lots of questions. Why did I do that? Why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling this? And then go underneath those whys. You know, start with why you joined the business. You know, my first why for joining the business was money, but why? Why do I want money? Because I know how crappy and how low I felt, how worthless I felt, just needing to be supported by somebody else. You know, I've had a lot of contrast in my life. I had to hand the keys to my house back to a mortgage company. You know, I was married for almost 30 years and then I found myself alone. He needed space. You know, I have been through many of the things that most of you have been through. And I'm 60. Just a couple of months shy of it. But, you know, I could have 30 years left in me. I could have 50 years left in me. My grandmother's alive and 103. And I don't plan on sitting on in a rocking chair and knitting or reading or staring into space until I die. I have a lot of adventure in me that has to be lived. And I know how hard it is for anyone who's been married and are on their own, who's struggling. You know, I was a pleaser all of my life. You know, I lived for everybody else. I lost myself. So it was a big job coming back to who I was. But in losing yourself, you lose your worth, you lose your confidence, you know, and it's all crap because it's all originated in here. And when we come back to ourselves, when we get to know ourselves, when we start to trust ourselves, and trusting ourselves is about following through on our intentions. You know, if you had a friend who said to you, oh, let's go and have coffee, I'll meet you at 10 o'clock, and she didn't turn up, you know, you might let her off the first day, and then the second day she doesn't turn up, you start to question her. Third and fourth day, you're not going to trust her at all. So you've got to build that trust in yourself as well. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't keep delaying. Don't keep putting it off. And if you are putting stuff off, ask why. Why are you delaying? These are all the questions we've got to keep asking ourselves. Because it's not until you get real with yourself that you can get real with others. And when you get real, when you really know yourself, there's no fear in sharing who you are. So you've really got to share who you are to the world. You've got to let others in. But you can't let others in until you let yourself in. So, you know, I really haven't built my business around advertising. I use my personal page and my business page, but mostly I just share me. I do organic posts. I do calls to action at least a couple of times a week. I do lives. And I've let people in. People are trusting me because I let them in, and I show them the good, the bad and the ugly, but I don't show them the ugly while I'm feeling ugly. I show them my realness after I've got the gift from that ugly that I can share with them and help them to help themselves with. So I hope this has all made sense. I hope this has helped some of you in some way, but it's really just about getting real and finding the courage to do what's in your heart and to stop playing small. But you can't play big until you feel big. So discover yourself, starting right now, feel big, and then live big. My love to you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.